Welcome back, you right on time. So hey, look, I was watching YouTube the other day, and I heard a conversation going on between two guys. One was what I would probably say was a atheist, and the other one was a believer. And so this guy, who I think was, probably an atheist, but he was definitely an unbeliever, he asked the believer, he says, "Prove to me that Yah exists." And so the believer is, going through all these scriptures, and he's trying to give, this unbeliever, all these scriptures to prove that Yah exists. And, they're going back and forth, and they're having this conversation, and things are kind of getting heated. The believer is getting heated because the unbeliever doesn't understand. And then the unbeliever is getting heated because the believer can't answer his questions, or from what I saw, the believer was answering the questions, but the unbeliever wants some type of proof. You prove to me. So I thought to myself as I'm watching this, how would I have handled that, or how would I have answered that question? And so, I'm going through some scenarios in my mind, like how we always do. And then so Yah began to speak to me. And so as he started speaking to me, I just started, paying attention and listening. And, when we're talking together, we're it's like we're having this conversation in my mind. No physical words are being spoken, but me and Yah, the Creator, we're having this conversation. And so after all is said and done, I immediately go and start writing it down. And as I begin to, write it down in pen, he begins to speak even further. So I'm going to start going through some of the things that we talked about, that I wrote down, some of the things that he wanted me to, share and kind of address on this platform today. So one of the things that he was saying is that when people ask you to prove that he exists, he says, answer them accordingly. He says, I will not be able to prove to you that Yah exists. He says, because in order for me to prove to you that he exists, you first have to want to believe, number one, that he does exist. He says, because Yah is not flesh and blood. He's not like in human form like us. He is a spirit. And most people want you to give them something tangible. They want to see Yah. You're never going to see him just yet, because he is a spirit. He says those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth, not in flesh and in truth, but in spirit. So our spirit man has to be in commune with his spirit in order to see him in the spiritual things. We can see him in natural things, by things that were created. But in order for me to prove to you that he exists, you're never going to get what you're looking for. You want us to show you something in tangible form. You want to see the Creator himself, and that's just not going to happen. So it's just not going to happen, period. So then we started talking about some other things. He says, if you really wanted to know me, then you would do exactly what my word says. So I'm going to read over in Jeremiah 29, verse 13, what Yah led me to tell you all. The word says over in Jeremiah 29:13, it says, and ye shall seek me and find me when you shall search for me with all your heart. I'm going to read that again because that's really good, because I'm going to point out two things that he showed me in those scriptures. Jeremiah 29:13, and ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. So what we see here, we see two things. We see a condition. This is something that needs to be met. And we see a promise. We see a condition and we see a promise. So the condition is what you have to do. It says, when you shall search for me with all your heart. So in order for him to do his part, the part that you need to do is meet the condition, which is when you shall search for me with all your heart. You have to search for Yah. He's not just going to show up. If he chooses to, then he can. But his word says, if you shall search for me with all your heart, then there's a promise that happens. He says, and ye shall find me. That's beautiful. Ye shall find me. Shall, that is a 100% guarantee. When you do your part, he says you shall find him. But you have to do the work. You have to search for him. You got to search for him, which means you want to know if he is real or not. I have heard a lot of people say that they have found Yah in the most amazing ways. Some people say, I was just sitting there, I was down on my luck, and I was thinking about killing myself. And I said, Yah, if you're really real, show me. That person at that moment may receive an encounter with Yah. And some of those people, when they give their testimonies, they did receive encounters because they came in their purest form. They wanted to know. They searched for him. They started the hard work first is asking, if you're real, show me. Now, for some people, all it takes is one encounter and they're totally sold. Some people need a little bit more than that. They may have an encounter with him, and then they continue to build on that encounter by reading the word, or some may start going to church. Some may just start reading the word at home. Some may go to friends and family members and ask. But at any rate, they go out and about and they start searching for him. They start seeking after him. They start trying to put legitimacy to this belief or this question that they had, if you're real. So they began to seek him. And almost 99% of the testimonies that I hear from people that said that they sought after him, they found him. They had to. It's a guarantee in Yah's word. And so Yah began to say, he says, look at people. He says, you guys spend so much time on things that you deem valuable. You spend time on finding out how to make more money or how to grow a good return on your investment. You spend time on trying to find out the latest stats on your favorite sports team. You spend so much time on how to, plan for vacations and doing all these things. He says, but am I really a priority to you? You spend your time on things that you deem valuable. Am I valuable to you? Am I valuable to you? And so oftentimes when people have these questions, prove Yah to me, they don't value him. They don't even deem him worthy enough to search and find. But these same people, you'll find them finding out how to build a 401k or finding out 10 steps to this and 12 steps to this. They got all the steps and all the programs, and they know about all the Big Bang Theory and these quote unquote dinosaurs and what happened tens of thousands of years ago. But they don't want to pick up that word and find out if he's real or not. They don't want to go to him and ask him if he's real or not. And so Yah began to tell me, he says, if they put as much effort into seeking after me and finding me, then they would get the desired answer that they're looking for. He says people search after what they feel valuable. They don't feel that I'm valuable enough to search for me. He says, I gave them a guarantee. He says, they shall find me. He didn't say, you might find me. He said, you shall. Might leaves too many loopholes. It could go either way. You may or you may not. But he gave you a 100% guarantee. So you have to do your part. Stop expecting everybody else to do the work for you. It's not going to happen. You need to do something yourself. You need to seek for him. You need to search after him. He gave me an example to give to you guys. He says, when you guys lose your keys, he said, you can get out your car, come in your house, lock your door, put your keys up. You know you put them in a certain place, or you thought you knew you put them in a certain place, and you go back to find those keys the next day or the next time you need them, and you can't find them. You tear that whole house down trying to find those keys, or you lose $20, or for your ballers, you lose $100. You're gonna look for that, and you look and you look and you look and you look and you look. Why are you looking? Because you deem those keys valuable. Why? Because they start your car. You deem that $100 valuable. Why? Because $100 is $100. It's money. You need that money. So you look and you hunt for what you find valuable. He said, if you can look and hunt for a car key that can't do anything for you, or if you can look for $100 that can't do anything for you, why can't you look for me? He says, you're not guaranteed when you start hunting and searching and looking for those keys and hunting and searching and looking for that money to find him. He says, but I guarantee that if you put that same effort into seeking after me, I guarantee you'll find me. I just wanted to jump on really quick and share with you guys this information. If you have ever had that question or have somebody ask you that question, prove to me that God is real, just tell them, look, I can't prove to you that, but I can tell you where to go to get those answers. Send them over to Jeremiah 29:13. Seek me with all your heart and you shall find me. Give them some homework. There's a condition, but Yah also has a promise for you. You guys be blessed.